You tapping in real quick. Something like nothing major, man. You know, this shit popped me. I ain't even gonna hold you. This shit fucking popped me. Oh man, they canceled that Miles versus motherfucking Cody fight after they already canceled that Dolby versus Zaleski matchup, man. I had both those money lines locked the fuck up. Huh? Come on, man. I had Nicholas Dalby, beautiful money line. Miles Johns, beautiful money line. Had the two of them wrapped together in an early bird parlay. Had the two of them wrapped together with Damon in a three-leg early bird parlay. Had the two of them wrapped together with Charlie in a three-leg early bird parlay. Had the two of them wrapped up with Damon, Charlie, and Jillian in an early bird five-leg parlay. Had the two of them wrapped up in a prelim. I mean, not in a prelim, in a haymaker and a Hail Mary for the whole card. Man, they just chopped all my early bird parlays smooth the fuck up. Huh? Chop legs smooth off, man. Jeez. Oh, this shit getting. I'm talking about they out of pocket with this shit, man. Come on, man. How we this close to motherfucking fight night? Every fight night. And motherfuckers is pulling out left and right, man. It was bad enough when you took that Nicholas Dalby and Zaleski fight from us, man, and then replaced motherfucking Dalby with another UFC debutant on this card, man. We have enough UFC debutants on this card. We have enough UFC prospects that are coming off of their first fight inside the UFC octagon that didn't go so well for them, man. We have enough fuckery riddled all through this card already. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you already know they're going to give us a late replacement that steps up and fills in, who's probably another UFC debutant, man. Hopefully, you know what I'm talking about? We can get a decent name in there, but more times than not, man, it's going to be another UFC debutant stepping up on short notice, you know, to go ahead and take on Miles, because there's not too many individuals that want to take on Miles, you know, on short notice, because he's very solid, very well-rounded, very consistent, and very reliable to show up and operate by the game plan that's been structured for the fighting ahead of him. You know what I'm talking about? So more times than not, man, what's going to happen here is we're going to get a late replacement, a fill-in, another UFC debutant, and that's just going to be that with that. Add to the shit show. Like, that's two good fights, man. That's two good fights. When you talk about these fights on the prelims between Melissa and Claudia, and then however you say old boy's name, and Gaston, or whatever his name is, and then the debutante bull Malik Abdul up against Dusko, and we got another debutante coming in here taking on GM3. We gonna have another debutante coming in to take on Miles. We gonna have a main card riddled with debutantes as well as a prelim card. This whole fucking fight card, with the exception of a couple fights now, is looking like a motherfucking Dana White Contender Series on the road to the UFC, looking for a fighter type situation. This shit busts me. Huh? This shit busts me. Absolutely fucking pop me, man. I had Miles locked up, man. I had Miles locked up, and that money line was just creeping more and more in my favor with individuals hopping on that Cody train. You know what I'm talking about? And I had Nicholas Dalby locked up, man. You know, shit. I ain't have a plus money number, but he was still a slight underdog at minus 104 and minus 111 the few times that I called him. I think I might have even called him at like a minus 117, but that was with Miles is like minus 130 or minus 146. It came together quite nice. And when I started building off of those two, for my longer parlays, man, I ain't had to go looking for too many more legs because those two already came together at a fairly decent plus money number. You feel me? Don't mind me, man. Don't mind me. You know what I mean? Tap out at any given time. The shit pop me and I'm just fucking ranting. I'm venting. That shit bust me. I'm waiting to see who they gonna replace this motherfucker with. And I know it's gonna be a UFC debut time. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is, man. Now this card is gonna be riddled, absolutely riddled with UFC debutants taking on other, prospects in their own right, and some prospects taking on some veterans. Oh man, it is what it is. Sometimes when cards get like this, and I find myself, you know, having no real level of interest in them anymore, they turn out to be fucking spectacular, just filled with fucking action and finishes. You know what I'm talking about? So hopefully that's what we'll end up getting. A whole lot of good action, a whole lot of good fighting, and a whole lot of fucking finishes. Spectacular finishes inside the distance, out of left field shit. Maybe we'll get something we haven't seen before. Maybe we'll get some motherfucking, elbows implemented. Just go around and get a bloody octagon. I'm hoping for something to happen to lift my spirits back up about this fight card, because that's a hit right there, man. That's a hit. That's a hit on a UFC card that, on a card that looked like the UFC was taking a shit anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it looked like the UFC was taking a shit when they put this card together. And with that being said, that's a hell of a hit, man. The Dalby versus Zaleski, that was a crucial hit. Now Miles versus Cody, that's a very crucial hit because it's a lot of individuals very interested in seeing how that one was going to play out. And I was very much so looking forward to being on the right side of that conversation, and the right side of that pick, and the right side of that parlay placement, man. So that popped me. That fucking popped me, man. Because, like, what are we working with now? We got Neil Magny versus Carlos Prats. You know what I'm talking about? Cody versus Miles is gone. We got fucking Denise versus Carolina. Ricky versus Sopaj. Dusko versus motherfucking Malik. GM3 versus RDR. I mean, they should turn out to be some bangers, but I mean, come on, man. It's a bunch of, give me a shot to be up next against some individuals who've already, passed some tests and proven to be the level of opposition that they've proven to be. It is what it is, man. Don't mind me. That shit popped me. That shit absolutely popped me. I gotta log into the app and wait for them to, figure all this shit out. And once they've figured it all out and readjusted, they can go ahead and just, for the most part, just cash me out my motherfucking money back. And I'm just gonna have to, make a few more bets, man, for the most part. Because like I said, some of them bets was Miles and Nicholas. Huh? That's dead. Just gotta give me my bread. You know what I'm talking about? And some of them were Miles, Nicholas, and Demond. Now that's just a single play on Demond at -2 something. I'm good. Just give me my bread back. You know what I mean? Miles, Demond, and Charles. Now it's just a single play on Charles. I'm good. Just give me my money back, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll go ahead and put a little something together for what it's worth. And let that be that with that. Oh my God, this parlay video is gonna be fun tomorrow. Huh? This parlay video is gonna be a motherfucker, man. Word it is. I mean, we gonna get it done. We gonna get it done. Prelims, main card, whole card, all favorites, swap out options, dog plays. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna get it. Hail Marys, haymakers. We gonna get it done. We gonna make it do what it do, what it do, what it do. You know what I'm talking about? But boy, oh boy, this card just became a bit more vicious to, milk money out of. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck, man. That's a hell of a hit, man. Cause while a lot of motherfuckers like to make their most confident picks the biggest favorites on the card, you know, what the money line suggests. Oh, Carlos Prates is a minus 700. He's looked good in his 4-fight run inside the UFC. He's my most confident pick. Denise Gomes, oh, she's looked good. And, you know, Carolina's looked good, but she didn't look good in her last fight, and she's 39. There's an age gap there. Oh, yeah, let's take Gomes and put her with Prats. And let's take Malik, the UFC debutant, who only has 6 fights under his belt and hasn't really faced, you know, any legitimate levels of opposition. And then let's take RDR, who's coming in against GM3. And, you know, because he's going to submit GM3. He's got 12 submissions over there against the opposition. He's submitted 12 times. And GM3 has 29 submissions, but so what? And it's been over here in the UFC for the most part, but so what? And he has the most finishes inside the middleweight division in the UFC's history, but so what? This RDR guy is still going to get him. Come on, bro. That shit bugs me so bad. It's real easy to say my most confident picks on the card or the 4 or 5 biggest favorites on the card. Like, that's easy to say, man. But there's so many question marks involved, you know what I mean, in those fights, and insignificant price tags like that, in my personal opinion. I normally find my most confident picks in them closer money lines. Because I get the main event and the first fight of the night and the women's MMA and the heavyweight MMA and the individuals over the minus 500 above, or just, you know, ridiculously priced for absolutely no reasoning at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm talking about? UFC debuters and anybody that I have question marks on. I get all those fights out the way, and then that's where I find my most confident plays. And this week it was Nicholas Darby and Miles Johns, and they came together at, you know, beautiful beautiful money lines, beautiful price tags. And the UFC, well, not even the UFC, these individuals, they stripped that away from me this week. Hey yo, I sound like a motherfucker just had his other fucking favorite toy stolen, don't I? In school somewhere, ain't this a bitch? Like I'm on the playground looking for my favorite ball. Yo, they did me dirty, yo. I'm sorry about that shit, man. Word I am. As you can see, I ain't stopped running my motherfucking yap about it yet. I want to put my fucking head through the drywall. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's some fucking bullshit, man. And they just keep on with the bullshit. I would not be surprised if yet another fight is swiped away from us prior to fight night, man. Like nothing about any of this shit can surprise a motherfucker anymore. You know what I'm talking about? But it is a bit fucking ridiculous. It is frustrating. You know what I'm talking about? But it is also very much so what it is. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just interested to see what UFC debutant we are going to get stepping up on short notice to fill in and fight Miles on Saturday. You know, he was just on his Instagram story, highly confident that his management in the UFC and the matchmakers are going to be able to find somebody for him to fight on Saturday, and that he will still be fighting. So I'm interested to see what happens with all that. You know what I'm talking about? Peace and blessings. Stay tapped in.